Okay, so in this video we're going to be checking out another new micro drone here from GearBest. This is the SkyStars X120, and it looks pretty typical, like a lot of other 2.5-inch micros that we've seen on the channel previously, but they've gone a little bit different in terms of their approach on the power setup. Basically, the motors are the biggest difference here. We haven't seen too much of in previous pre-built models. This one comes with an 1106 4500 kV motor, and I don't know who makes this. It looks like kind of like a Sunny Sky design. It does have it has an open bottom design here, as you can see, and it's a decent motor. It's a lower kV. I've seen the 1106 4500 kV motor before on the Baby Hawk R 3-inch model, but this is a 2.5-inch model. And on that one you can do 3S or 4S. On this one also you could do 3S or 4S, but I would recommend going 4S on this one. And I'll put a link in the description, but the battery that I used for the flight is this one here. It's the GNB 550 4S with an XT30 connector. It's a good battery, pretty good power for this setup. You could definitely do 3S on this. Of course, then I think you're going to give up quite a bit of power, especially on the smaller 2.5-inch prop, but it will fly on 3S. But I do recommend going 4S if you want to get better performance. So the frame here is pretty generic. It got sort of it looks like a Truex design, single bottom plate, unibody style, and it's about 2.5 to 3 millimeters thick. The top plate's 1.5 millimeters thick. You got 4 standoffs here, and if you look at these designs, it looks pretty similar to this one here. This one is the B Fight or the Mini Fight, the 2.5 version of that with the Sunny Sky motors in this one. I think this one is what is this one? I forgot. It's a 500 kV. Yeah, it's 5500 kV 1106, so a little bit higher kV. So I did think 3S in this one, not 4S. And the rest of the it's pretty generic design here. You got a 20 amp 4-in-1 ESC, you got an F4 flight controller. Video transmitter is also pretty generic. No smart audio or tramp protocol, just the one button operation and the 2 LEDs. So it is kind of a hassle to change the channels. And your power is going to be only 25, 100, and 150 milliwatts. And you have a whip antenna back here, and the antenna is soldered on. So I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of that. This particular model is a bind and fly and came with a FreeSky XM receiver, not an XM Plus. You just have the single antenna, not diversity. I kind of wish they would have given you an XM Plus in that case. FlySky and Spectrum versions are also available. And you have a generic 600 TV line CCD camera here in the front. This is obviously the RunCam Swift clone that you've seen on a lot of the models that come from GearBest. I don't know who makes these. It's probably some generic OEM manufacturer. However, this one, like a couple of other ones I've had on the channel, this camera has a flaw, and I think it's the lens that has the issue. It's either the lens or the sensor is loose, so when you're flying this around, you get a lot of jello and vibration that isn't coming from the PID tune. So you'll see that in the flight demo. It has a PID tune from the factory. I thought the PID tune was okay. It flew fine. I didn't hear any oscillations or vibrations. But based on the video that you'll see, in terms of all the shaking, it's not from a bad PID tune. It's actually just from a defective camera. So it's kind of unfortunate. This one, you're gonna have to replace the camera if you happen to get one. I've gotten a number of these models from GearBest in the past, and I've had, I don't know, 2 or 3 that have had bad cameras. Yeah, I wish they would stop using these generic cameras on these models and just go with something like a Caddx or a Foxeer camera. But if you do like this model and you want to get it for the low kV motors and the 4S setup, and you do get a bad camera, you can get like a Caddx Micro F1. And that's like a $20 camera in terms of additional cost. And I think this comes in around $150 with the receiver. Now, one other thing that I do want to make note of is that on this frame, there's only 3 screw holes for the motors, and I already lost 1 screw here on one of these motors here, probably during the flight. The rest of them are okay, but you should probably make sure that these screws are in tight, and perhaps even use some Loctite there to secure those screws so you don't lose any more of those. Okay, so here's the weight without the battery, and we're coming in at about 84 grams. Okay, so this is going to be the maiden flight again, and I just want to show you the PIDs that this came with. I'm just flying with the stock PIDs, so we'll see how this performs on the stock PIDs. I'm flying with a 500 milliamp hour 4S GMB LiPo. And I can see a little bit of vibration in the video. It's possible that this could be the camera. I have had copies of this particular camera with vibrations issues. I don't hear any vibrations in the props. Yeah, the props sound like they're not vibrating too much. But you can see the camera is shaking. So I might need to change the camera to something else. I mean, it seems to fly okay, other than the video being all shaky. I think it's flying okay. But this camera is not that great. It is one of those RunCam clones, and I've had a couple of these that have had, I think they're defective lenses is what the problem is. So this isn't the first time this has happened with this particular brand of camera. Let's do a punch out. We've got pretty good power on these 1106 4500 kV motors on 4S. I would recommend definitely going 4S if you're going to go with this smaller 2.5 inch prop. Yeah, having the shaky camera does make the flying kind of sketchy. It's not a good feeling. I think you're going to get some decent flight times on this. I think I'm on a 500 milliamp hour 4S. Maybe it's a 550 at 14.9 volts. 2.5 minutes of flight, so I think you should get at least 3 minutes or so. But yeah, every time I punch the throttle, the whole camera is shaking. I'm pretty sure that's the lenses. I don't hear any oscillations. There's a little bit of oscillation there in prop wash, but you can't really hear it. So I'm pretty sure this is the camera problem. That's kind of unfortunate, but if you happen to like this model, swapping the camera isn't going to be too pricey. I would recommend getting something like the Caddx Micro F1, $20. I think that's a better camera than this one anyway. 14.6 volts at about 3.5 minutes flight. So I'll go ahead and end the demo here for now. I think you guys can get an idea of what's going on here. I don't think it's the flight characteristics or the tune. Pretty sure it's the camera. That's unfortunate. So hopefully I'll get another camera in here and we'll get another video out and we'll see what that's like coming up pretty soon. So yeah, stay tuned for that video. Hopefully I'll have one pretty soon, maybe in a week or so.